chasing a bunch of does. They didn't flag or blow at me. I had the wind too, so they just came running through this cut, this opening. I was back here on the logging road. They were in front of me. I couldn't quite make them. I just could see flashes of bodies, and they headed this way. There's a big cut right here. So we're gonna work our way slowly down here and see if we can see up into the cut and see if we can see him. They were moving, so he's pushing. We're kind of like sitting here just in case there's another one coming. If it's a buck, I've got a shot through here, so. Well, we got around that cut. Those does must have headed up because I didn't catch them coming out. They're not still there. So they must have went up and over and went down in the back here. They could have went over the top too, but we'll intercept them if we go around the back. We got a southwest wind, but the wind's kind of wrapping in here. It's kind of swirling a little bit coming around the opposite side of the hill, but we drop in here and go around, we should have a decent wind. It's kind of coming up out right now. So it's wrapping around the mountain. I got good cover going this way and I got good visual. And they tend to go up over and head down in and then up to where they bed. So we're going to kind of wrap around, hopefully run into a buck, checking the bedding areas. That's the plan. So let's get to it. Alright, we just stopped to eat lunch. We're in a big saddle right here at the very top of the draw. Tons of sign in here. And squirrels. So we just kind of like posted up and sitting here for a bit. The deer bed on the ridge behind me. What we're probably going to do is probably see what the wind's doing. It's kind of funky in here because it's between two really tall ridges. The way it swings around the back of the mountain, it kind of blows opposite of every place else. But we're going to go up probably on this ridge and swing around the front side instead of going back around the back side again. But like I said, there's a lot of sign in here. Scrapes and rubs. It's really thick though. It's all like really thick and got a lot of blowdowns and stuff in it, so not a lot of shot opportunities if something comes through. So that's what we're doing right now.
It's 6:30. It's a little bit later than I normally start, but last night we did a blood track for Gib. He was bow hunting because he's already shot a nice buck with his rifle, and he made a bad shot on a really nice buck. I think he got a deflection off a stick or something, and it went into it hit the deer, I think, in the brisket. So we're going to get back in here and try to pick up where we left off. The wind's not quite what I wanted it to be. We may have to do a big circle, but he's going to be back in here, I think. And it's a really nice buck with heavy antlers, so we can go see if we can catch up to him and put a bullet into him. So let's get our gear on. Let's get moving. Alright, after looking at that map again, it looks like he was angling up here on this hill. We're down here by a swamp right now. We're just following a little trail in. But up on that hill, there's a big beach bedding area overlooking a big ravine. And that's exactly where he's heading. We did find some sign of a big buck bedding up in on that ridge. So I'm thinking that's right where he was going. The wind's kind of shifty, especially down here near the swamp. It's kind of swirling in this bowl. But we're going to work our way up a little bit and work a little bit higher. Stay out of the swamp itself. This is just an easy access in here. There's like a little hiking trail. Used to be a cart road at one time, but you can see it's a big swamp out behind me. I mean, he may be out here in the swamp, but we're right in where I shot a big 6-pointer probably 8 years ago. So it would make sense we're right in the right zone. So I'm going to make a turn here and head up and back into the hemlocks where I can be a little quieter, where the wind will be a little better, and head up to that ridge. I'll get to the far end of it if I've got the wind and work down that ridge really slow. I should be able to tell if he's there because he was one stinky buck. He's a mature buck. He's probably 5.5. Heavy antlers. I don't know what he's got for tines. I'm just going by the description of the hunter, by Gibby anyways. But he said the mass on it was insane. So, it is a buck. Judging by the track I was on last night, it is a buck I will take. So, let's see if we can go and get him. Well, I just made a big circle up to this beach bedding ridge up here. And I put a buck up. I'm not sure if it's him, but I think it was. It was a pretty good one. I didn't get a shot. He was running through all this stuff here, all this beach whip and everything behind me. So I didn't dare take a shot. I was heading out this way. Not a giant bodied buck by any stretch. He's good though. May not be the same buck, but I think it was. There's a bed back here. No blood in it or anything, but it's right where I expected him to be. So it turns into softwood up here on this ridge, and then we'll walk down the ridge. He kind of went that way, over that way. The ridge goes down in that direction, so he's probably heading down the ridge. I grunted at him, but I don't think he stopped. So we'll get up here in these softwoods where it's quiet, because it's so loud right here. I'm walking like I'm a deer. Get up in here and I'll creep down that ridge and see if I can get eyes on him. I doubt if I can though. He's probably long gone. But if we got a good track over here in the softwoods, I'll follow it for a while just to gauge the size. It looks like a fairly decent one here in the grass and the leaves, but he's running, so. We'll get down here. Well, I made it down here. There's a big round swamp up here in front of me. It's looking like he went into it. So in a minute, I'm gonna head out that way and get to a spot where I can see the swamp. And then I'm gonna grunt call, and I'm gonna see if I can get him to come out. That's how Gibby shot him last night, was the grunt call, so I don't know if it'll work, but it's worth a try. Anyways, we'll go do it. Oh, we got a little bit more of day 8. We're on an old trail that takes us over here, and a little outlook where you can see the swamp. It's tremendously loud. It's dead quiet outside. There's no wind. It's been kind of a bane all day. Try to walk as quiet as possible. It's all beach in here, so it's almost impossible. I might have actually got a little closer to that buck if I'd been able to be just that little bit more quiet. But you can hear it's loud and it's dead quiet. So anything in that swamp can hear me coming around it, no matter how hard I try to be quiet. Just can't do it. So we're going to get on this little cart road over here, follow it around. Truck's not too far. So anyways, that's day 8. Good morning. It is day 9. We are on a completely different track today than we were yesterday or the day before. Moving around a lot to try to find some rut sign. The sun's coming up, as you can see behind me there. This spot here has got some big bucks. It's a big wood spot. We're on the snowmobile access road right now. We're just walking to a spot where they're doing a little bit of cutting. We're going to get on the other side of it and drop down. There's a swamp at the bottom of this ravine, and then it runs up into another cut behind me, an older cut. And that's what we're going to be hunting today. I got in a little bit later than I wanted to. But had a little indecision on where to go. But we made it here. So, bad news. Yesterday on the 8th, on my 8th day, which would have been the 16th, the 8-pointer that I was hunting, Spectre, was shot by a lucky hunter. And so, Spectre's off the table now. Got a couple other decent bucks on that piece of property. And there's always some stragglers that come in that just show up inadvertently too. So we're going to be hunting on that property for the next 3 days, I think. 2 days anyways. So, and that's generally when things start to get hot. It's the next bunch of days and then into Thanksgiving up there. So I'm going to enjoy the sunrise and get down into this piece. An old cart road right here. It's heading up in. This is the first scrape on it. So what we're doing is we're going to get to the top of this ridge. Then we're going to work down towards the swamp, down that way. And then towards those cuts. But this is a good sign. Finally some buck sign. Alright, just heard 2 shots. About 800 yards up that way. I just come through here. There's a scrape back here. Somebody's got a cell camera on it. Starting to not get the Big Woods vibe. There's a piece of fish and game property behind me here in this swamp. Kind of cuts across. It's on this side a little bit. That's probably where the shot came from, was up there. But it sounded like it was on the other side of the swamp. So he just kind of sat down here just in case he missed and the deer comes through. We got there's quite a few scrapes right down this trail. There's a beaten path. It goes right down here. It's just going along the edge of the swamp. There's a big rub right over here. Definitely a funnel between the cut and this swamp right here. Definitely a spot you could kill a deer pretty easy if you didn't have a bunch of pressure. I think I'm the only one in on this side. There's no other truck up here, so unless it's somebody parked down in the cut. That would be kind of silly though, wouldn't you think? But stranger things have happened. So we're just kind of taking it easy here for a minute. Cuts up that way, probably 800-900 yards up the hill. Looking at the map, it just keeps going here with woods, and the swamp just keeps going along. So we're just going to follow this for a ways and see if we pick up on anything. Then we'll kind of ankle up to that cut. But there was a spot in here I meant to get to check sign, but I somehow got around it or missed it. I don't think I've gotten there. I think I've gone past it. I think I'm a lot farther than I would be. I think that place I was looking for is up a little bit higher. Like I said, I've been in here twice. One time was just a quick sit with Phil, and then the other time I came in really quick with Nick to grab his cameras. So I don't really know this spot very well. I'm kind of running blind here. I just found a signpost rub here. We're going to inspect it and see what we got for a rack on this buck that just hit it. There's fresh tracks all the way around this thing. And it's on a brown ash, like most of these things are down here in these swamps. So we'll go over here and take a peek. He hit it this morning. You can see some tine marks from a brow tine. There's one there. Some marks back here on that, but that looks older. Not real big. Well, there's a mark here. So there's some there. He might be alright. If he's reaching, you know. If he's reaching way the heck over here on this big ash. From there. All the way up here. Looks like there was a couple that had come through. And they're heading in that direction. Heading up away from the swamp. Well, I'm going to look at these tracks and see if I can bear ground them. There's a scrape that's right here behind me that was scraped this morning. So these deer came through. They came up that trail. I heard that shot back that way, but it really doesn't mean anything if I've got fresh tracks heading that way. I kind of think I know where I am, believe it or not. The brook that runs down through here. There's a hill over here. There's a dip.
there's a pounded trail that comes down that hill and heads this way. The corner of the cut is back over here. So it kind of looks like where they're headed, but we're going to look at these tracks and kind of judge what we got. I stopped here. I'm going to grunt a couple of times here and just listen, because looks like a bedding ridge right here. There's a lot of tracks all in here. Looks like they were moving around quite a bit. Like there was maybe a little bit of a chasing or tending going on. So I'll hit a grunt and see if I can get him to show himself. Well, we're near the end of the cut. It's right behind me here, drops down to the swamp. But the wind shifted. It had been in my face all morning in here, and it just shifted, and now it's blowing completely opposite. It's coming directly out of the south. So we're going to turn south here. And we're going to head back. We're going to drop in a little bit. Kind of work our way back. Really slow. Go back through all that sign again. We'll be back there at some point in the afternoon. Might sit for a little bit. It's warm. It's probably 50 some odd degrees out. Thank God I'm only wearing a t-shirt underneath this jacket. Got a fresh buck track right here. It's heading back in the same direction. It's not a very big one, it's a small one, but deer beget deer, so. We'll get back on it. We ate lunch early. Still not used to the time change. My stomach still says it's lunchtime at 11. So we ate our lunch back there on a nice shady bank where we could overlook a draw. We're heading back this way. They gotta be. It's fairly warm out. They're still rutting. They're still going to be moving, but I would expect that they're going to want to be by the water. The does will be anyways. The does actually are bedding. There's a piece right behind me that's super thick, old cut, lots of whips, and small pine trees, white pine. I think they're probably bedding in there. That trail cuts back and forth. Pretty heavy. It looks like it's used daily, so there was fresh doe tracks on it coming up. And a few buck tracks going right back through all that sign back there. They must cross the swamp somewhere in that area. There's a big field over here where they're probably feeding. So there's a draw right here, low area. I'm going to cross it and get up on that other bank and kind of work back the way we came. It would take us right through all that buck sign again. Well, here we go. I swear, I haven't gone anywhere in here and not found a fresh scrape. That buck is all over the place in here. He's hitting all these ridge tops and hitting all these scrapes back here. They're all fresh from today. And they're just beat up. I mean, he's aggressive. Anyways. We'll head back that way. We're in the sign.
just gotta stay in it. When I started going back that way too far, it was petering out. I was still finding some scrapes, but it wasn't concentrated like it is in here. And just up here, there's a blistered up maple that's got a rub on it and a scrape. There's a scrape back there. There's a wicked scrape line coming this way, and then over here there's another wicked scrape line going like this. What they're doing, they're crossing the swamp here someplace. I almost guarantee it. Looks like they're going in there bedding way back that way someplace. Up on some of these knobs that are in here. I haven't bumped the damn thing in here all day, which surprises me. Which tells me that they're coming through here in the evening and the morning. So, pretty much know I gotta go that way to get out. Swamp's behind me. Or actually, it's right here. But, well, cutting the day a little short today. Was following bare ground in the track, and I ended up over here by a main road. This is, well, I ain't gonna tell you what road it is. So, I'm waiting on Nick to come pick me up, bring me up to my truck. It'll take me about 2 hours to walk back to the truck through the woods, and it'll take me about 15 minutes in the truck. So, this will work out a little better. This is what happens when you get focused on the track and not the direction you're going. He ended up cutting off and heading down this way, down into a piece of posted land that I can't get on. And I could hear the road. I couldn't figure out why I could hear a road, so I walked up here to see what road it was, and it's a main road. Good Lord. Things we do for deer. Well, we'll probably come back in here tomorrow. There's so much sign that I can't even explain to you just how much sign is here. It's that crazy. There's rubs and scrapes everywhere. I've never seen anything like it. It's like every deer in the county is in here. I jumped one and then that's the track I got on. And then of course it headed this way. So, it was a good track too. He was bedded up into an overgrown cut. Right on the edge of it, overlooking a bunch of hemlock. It's a good one too. He didn't run off. He kind of just got up and bounded once or twice and then started walking fast. So, I might not even bumped him up. Maybe he just got up. I don't know. But he walked the whole way. I just couldn't quite catch him because he's straight-legged. These deer are killing me this year. All right, wait for Nick.